Good evening, Gooners. Welcome to the Gooner Booth. It's the FA Cup preview. Wayne's not with me tonight. He's out having some family time, well deserved. He works really hard. Enjoy your Saturday off, Wayne. Yeah, look, if you're new around here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, get involved in the comments. Bit of therapy. Obviously, we're going to get into the FA Cup preview versus Wigan. There's been a lot of stuff on social media. A lot of people saying they're worried. Some people saying they're not worried. You know, just want to get a taste of how are you guys feeling? Are you worried? Do you feel like you know, the Brentford game? It's not the end of the world, right? And I think people need, I just want to get it out there. I've had some, thought about it. It was a tough game. Brentford have got really good results against the top six. They've got a good record at home. So it's always going to be a good game, a difficult game more like. We didn't play very well, and I think we can admit that. There's a lot to there is a lot to take from that game, but also a lot of stuff that we need to take out of our game. Look, we move on to Wolves. Wolves is a massive game. We have to win that. We're still 4 points clear. So yeah, look, there's not many people watching at the moment, but when you do jump on, give me your thoughts on that. How are you feeling after the Brentford game? Are you worried? Do you think that there's do you think it's the same old Arsenal, or do you think it's still a bit of a blip against a really good side? I think it's the latter. I think it's a blip against a really good side. We didn't play very well, and the fact that Havertz is out as well it cost us a little bit the fluidity in our play. Yeah, it's hard. I have been a little bit down about it, and I have been a little bit worried, but when I've actually had to think about it, there's still 12, 13 games to play. There's still a lot of football to be played. We've got to do our job and beat what's in front of us. City ain't going to win every game. We know that. But yeah, look, guys, if you're just joining, happy Saturday. Hope everyone's enjoying their weekend. Look, get involved in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. But yeah, look, how are we feeling, guys? How are we feeling after the Brentford game? I'm going to get into the FA Cup game. Wayne's kindly sent me his starting 11, which I'll get up very shortly. But yeah, how are we feeling, guys? It's a big old meltdown. I'm seeing online. Hello, buddy. Good evening, mate. How are you? Welcome to the channel. Yeah, look. I think we should take a game. Yes, amen. Game by game. I think. Yeah, Wolves next. We have to win. We have to win. Look, when we don't beat Wolves, I think that's when we have to start worrying a little bit, right? Because I think Wolves are there for the taking. I'll be honest with you. They're fighting relegation battle, but they haven't been great all season. I was actually out having lunch today with a Nottingham Forest supporter, and he sort of said that we had 30 shots against Wolves. They allowed us to have 30 shots. Imagine what you'll do to them. I went, but I don't think they're going to allow us to be that. I don't think they're going to be that open. No team we play, and this is the problem we're going to have for the rest of the season. Right, I'll get onto the Wigan preview in a minute. I know it's not, and it's fun now. It's got Wigan preview, but I really need to discuss our Premier League efforts on Thursday, because there's been a lot of stuff online. I've been getting trolled, bottle jobs, all that stuff's been coming out, and it's not relevant right now. It's really not relevant. Yes, City are back into it. City have been winning their games. There's not much we can do about that, right? He's got to get on with it, right? And as Red Card just said, I just feel our fans need to chill out a bit. Granted, they have the right to get upset, but still, mate, they do. And I think we're the most entitled supporters sometimes. The way we, I don't get to go to many games. I've got a red membership. I'm on the season ticket waiting list, and I'd love to go every single game. But if you're at that ground, don't boo your players. Don't get behind them. If we're going to win a title, message to the fans. I know some of the guys that join this channel, go to a lot of the games, and if you're there, get behind the team. You can criticize them after the game. I criticize them during watch-alongs because they can't hear me, right? They can't hear me. But at the same time, if you're in that ground, I think we get very, very wound up too quickly. And I think there's so much pressure on these players now. And I think we need to help them as well. I think we need to help them as well. But yeah, look, Wolves are next. 4 points clear. Look, we beat Wolves. We've got a 7-point cushion again. Things are, looking more comfortable again. I think we panic very quickly. And I think that panic's gone on to the players. We played really poorly versus Brentford, but we still we need to do better. The banter is just too much, mate. No, it is, mate. It really is. But look, I think people look. Some actually put on Twitter, or X as we should call it. Why does everyone hate Arsenal so much? It's a very interesting point, right? When you actually think about it, we do get a lot of hate. We get a lot of hate. Hello, CJ, mate. How are you? Rise and shine. It's Wigan time. Yeah, I'm going to get onto the preview very shortly. Wayne's not with me tonight. He's having some well-earned family time. But yeah, no, I will get onto the Wigan game. But we have to discuss Thursday, right? And all the backlash from social media. So I'm just going to have a look at if Wayne sent me his predicted 11. I'll give him one job. He's got to do that. Even if he's got a day off, I'll still make him work. But yeah, no, look, I just think that we didn't play well. And Joe, that's what worried me the most, right? The performance, not the fact that we're just 4 points. The performance worried me more than anything. We couldn't string a pass together. There was all this stuff going on, and I was sitting there going, oh no, like we're so close. We're so close. Red cards, but Thursday was really hard to watch, but we can and should do better. Yeah, and it's an opportunity tomorrow to get some fresh legs in there. Right, get some rest in there. I don't want to see Rice anywhere near the starting 11. I'm just loading up Wayne's starting 11. And he has gone. He hasn't. I won't do any spoilers, but yeah, he hasn't. I don't think Rice is in his starting 11, and I don't think Arteta shouldn't be tempted to play any top players for this game. Sorry guys, I'm just sorting out this screen. Really unorganised tonight. Really unorganised. Because I'm on my own. Wayne's normally talking away whilst I'm loading stuff in the background, but I'm having to fill the space. Here we go. Talk about Arsenal forever, guys. Talk about Arsenal forever. But yeah, look. No starter should play tomorrow. Yeah, we need to be domestic. Come on, too many games, important ones coming up. Do you know what, Red Card? I've got a very good point to throw back on you on that. I was talking to someone today. I was out for lunch. He's a Nottingham Forest supporter, and he doesn't buy into the premise of players being tired, right? And he gave me a really good example. Right, let me know your thoughts in the chat about this, guys. He said Olympians, right? During the Winter Olympics. Now it's a really tough sport, right? I think it was an Olympic skier. I don't know what one it was. I don't really follow it. I'm not going to claim to be an expert, but he had to do a competition on I think it was on the Tuesday, and then go again on the Friday, right? And it's a lot more physicality that goes into some of these sports, right? And they're not paid half the money footballers are. So taking that into account, do we need to go? Oh, actually, no. You need to get on with it, guys. You're athletes. You're getting paid a lot of money, and you're getting paid a lot of money to compete at this level. So do we look at it and go, actually, are you being babies basically, or do I think this season the biggest thing with us, right? And I think this all Arsenal supporters have got PTSD about the whole thing. Is if we blow the title again, there's nowhere to hide. There really isn't. But with the squad that we've got, Wayne sometimes, I don't know if Wayne's watching, but Wayne sometimes sort of goes, well, they look a bit leggy tonight. They look a bit. I don't buy into that premise. We've got a good enough squad to allow for that stuff. Allow for the tired. If you're tired, go on the bench. If you're tired, don't start. If you're not going to give 100%, then don't start. So, but look, it's tomorrow, 4:30, it's an opportunity for some of our stringe players to come out there. And, I want to see Norgard have 90 minutes because I think that guy could do a job for us. For some reason, Arteta don't trust him. So, but yeah, Sorry, guys, bear with me. Yeah, I just think that there's a lot of players, there's a lot of talent in our team. I don't think we use them. If Dalman's fit, throw him in there. Give him an opportunity on the right side. He might even give Madueke a run for his money. I know Madueke scored the other night, but he's not been great. Let's be honest, guys. He's not blown us away. Yes, he got an important goal, but what's he really done this season for the price tag? And if someone's battling Saka for a job for his position, also for the World Cup, right? He hasn't. When Saka's injured, you want Madueke to step in and go, yeah, this guy ain't getting back in the team. Sorry, I'm the next thing at Arsenal. And for some reason, I don't know if it's because they respect each other. My biggest problem, and so frustrating because you know how good he is Eze. Eze's been the biggest frustration for me. He's been given chance after chance after chance, but he hasn't been that great. Red cards, but yeah, I get your point. But still, we have a good squad. We have a good coach. We just sometimes do not know how important it is to win. Norgard should start defo tomorrow. Eze at 10 and Dalman. Yeah, no, I agree. Look, Eze, I don't know what's going on with Eze. Is Arteta not allowing him? Joe, one thing about Brentford, right? And I said this on the watch along. I don't know if you tuned in red card. I know a few of you guys did. Thank you for that, by the way. He didn't play well, but at the same time, he's never given enough time to have that one opportunity. So, and I said to Wayne on the stream, Odegaard's running forward with the ball. He's not released it to Gyökeres. He's carried on going. He's carried on with the chance and then gone. Right? If Eze's in that position, is the conversion better? Because that's his bread and butter. The game opened up, right? And in that, and I looked at an interview with Arteta about Eze, and he sort of said, the sort of game where the ball wasn't on the floor a lot, it was hard for an attacker to get into it. But he never gives the guy a chance. You pulled him off at half time, right? And if I'm being honest with you, Odegaard was at fault for the first goal because he let his man go and swung a leg at him. We've got to be a lot stronger there, I'm not saying Eze probably would have prevented that, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, right? Red cards put Eze just not clicked. There's no back and forth about that. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Same thing happened to York. Look how well he's trying to do better. Eze will have his time. Yeah, I think so. I think Arteta needs to let the handcuffs off a little bit in that role. Odegaard done okay when he come on. There was moments where he's a bit lightweight in situations, but yeah, I don't think Eze had a luxury role at Crystal Palace where he could just roam around and he didn't have to track back. He didn't have to do defensive work. He was their luxury player because you knew he would deliver in key attacking areas. Whereas I don't think Arteta don't want anyone like that. And I think Odegaard, although I don't think he can tackle for shit, but he does put the work rate in. He does the high press. He does everything that you'd want. And I think he's that sort of manager that you can't be in this team. That's why Ozil got kicked out as soon as Arteta come in, because you want runners. You want people working hard. And I think Eze's just struggling a little bit. I would put Eze on the left. I agree with Wayne there. And I was fighting against him on it. I would put Eze on the left. And Joe, I would try tomorrow. I know Jesus will probably get the nod. We'll go through the starting 11 very shortly, guys. I know Jesus will get the nod. I would put Martinelli up front tomorrow. Just to tweak a little bit tactically. Because I think that if we can play an aggressive press, which we do with York, right? I think Martinelli would do really well in that press because he gets into really clever attacking positions. And I know I've been getting bantered by Wayne and Dave about Martinelli being a star striker, but I do think that there's a role there in certain games. In the way we play, the tactics, there's certainly a role there for it. Red cards put Eze strives because at Palace he got balls without not much work rate. Yeah, at Arsenal it's different. You have to work. You do, mate. You have to work. The system's built that look at Aston Villa away. He didn't track back, and Matty Cash got that volley and scored 1-0. Away you go. And I think Arteta's never forgiven for that. To be honest with you, and I think every little thing that he's doing, he's pulling him. And yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I don't think any player played particularly well against Brentford, and I think this FA Cup fixture is a welcome break for the players to have a rest. As I said, I think you'll probably find that Rice and that will be on the bench. I don't like Saka might get a run out because he's coming back from injury. But yeah, I would like to see a few players rest. But yeah, look, on that cheery note, let's get into the starting 11. So Wayne's kindly sent me his predicted 11. This is his thing. Red cards, but I asked earlier, mate, can we have 20-minute session together on Monday, say 10 a.m. your time, just a preview of the Wolves game and a review of Mondays of tomorrow's? Will that work, mate? You're a new podcast. Yeah, send me an email, bud. We'll sort something out off air. No problem. Yeah, send me a message. I'll chat to you about it afterwards. Thank you for joining. Charles, hello, mate. Ain't seen you in a while. Look, good news. I've managed to get the score clock working. So watch alongs are a lot smoother. So join me tomorrow for it. Tony, understand we have a preview and also understand the players have picked themselves up, but are you pumped up for the FA Cup action considering the league is on knife's edge? I'm really not, mate. Do you know what? I'm really not. And it's a really good point. Really good point. The problem that I've got, right, is look at it this way. Do we take it as a welcome break? Because I do. I think we played that bad against Brentford. I don't know. They need another shake, you know. And is that nerves? Are we playing occasions? Are we? Someone actually, Joe, I read online, right? And I talked about you on this, Charles, on your point, right? I take your point very, very well, mate. And I see where you're coming from. Someone online said the last couple of fixtures, right, where we play second to Man City, we are struggling to respond. And I think the last time that we responded was Aston Villa at home. And I was at that game, and that was, we were pumped for that. And since then, we haven't really responded after City have played before us. Now we've got an opportunity. We've got an opportunity to put a 7-point cushion in front, put the pressure back on City. They then play Newcastle at home. Now, that's not an easy game. I know Newcastle haven't been the Newcastle of last season or the season before that. That's not an easy game. Then it goes back to 4 points. Then we go and play the North London derby, which, do you know what? I would have liked to have Thomas Frank to have stayed put because they've got a guy from Juventus. I think it's Tudor. I think his name is. I've done a little bit of research on him as well. He plays with 3 at the back. So now I'm a little bit like, okay, I think we can, he's very aggressive on the press. So I think there'll be a little bit of a reaction from the Tottenham players in that game. It's North London derby. We're not going to want to lose that. That's a tough game. But we got to start playing well. We've got to start. What's the word I'm looking for? We can't rely on just turn up and win. We've got to put the work in. And I think the players, against Brentford, I don't know if we turned up a little bit going, Joel, we've won this, we're away, and Brentford ain't got a great record against us. But these teams are up for it. Look at Forest away. They're up for these games. You got to get up for it. And on Brentford, and I said it a few times on the watch along with Wayne, we're not playing like we're in a title race. So yeah, go back to your point, Charles. The FA Cup tomorrow, right? We're challenging all 4 fronts. We need to beat Wigan, and Wigan are there for the taking tomorrow because they're fighting relegation of their own. They've just had a manager sack. They've got 2 interim managers just put in place. So I think tomorrow it could be a case of I don't think they're going to be really interested in going for it. It's probably going to be a let's not get embarrassed situation. So I think that tomorrow is going to be a little bit more. Hopefully, we go out and nick a few goals, and our youngsters can get a few debuts tomorrow. That's what I'm looking at for tomorrow. Am I worried about it? No. Do I want an FA Cup run? Of course. Do we need to be concentrating on Wolves? I think we do. But I think that the nature of the game, we've got Wigan at home. Should be a comfortable win. guys. I can't. If we struggle against Wigan, I know we've had our history of Wigan semi-final. Don't know if you guys remember that Wembley. Arteta actually scored the penalty that won that. So there's a bit of stats for you there. I was at a game once as well. I think Wigan were fighting relegation and they beat us 2-1. I was sitting behind the goal. I was sitting there more shocked than anything that they was running rings around us at the Emirates. Excuse me. But yeah, look, starting 11. Red card. Yeah, it'll be join me for the watch long, mate. I think it'll just be me tomorrow. So I might see if Dave's available. I don't think Wayne's available tomorrow. I might see if Dave or some of the other guys are around. This is a necessary break. The entire squad needs to forget about the Brentford thing and do better. Yeah, they do, mate. Need to move on. Let's move on quickly. Chris, good evening, buddy. How are you, mate? He's put his starting 11. Kepa, White, Salmon, Mascara, Calafiori, Norgard, Skelly, Martinelli, Dalman, Eza, Jesus would be my team. Yeah, that's a good pick, mate. I think Calafiori needs to get some minutes in them legs because he looked a bit shaky at left back, and we need the Calafiori that started the season off because he was unreal at the start of the season, and he made that back four solid. You know, him with Saliba. I mean, Saliba's back. Is he Saliba? I think it was an illness for Saliba, but it'd be good to get him full rest. Him and Big Gab's back in there. Sorry, guys. But yeah, look, we've got a good back four there. I think Nkapé's been brilliant. He's been really, really, really good for us, and really good signing. Nkapé, he's really good backup, and he'll step in. He's actually challenged Calafiori for that left back spot because I was calling for Nkapé to start against Brentford because I think Calafiori looked off the pace. Red cards put we've struggled, but we can do better. 7 points ahead if we win at Wall City. Won't take all three versus Castle. Do you know what, mate? I'm in agreement there. That's not an easy game for them at home. Newcastle, they're one of them teams that if they turn up, they're easily a top 5, top 6 side, easily, right? I think that they're going for a bad run at the moment. But you wait until they can start loosening the purse strings as well. They're going to be challenging for that title in the next couple of years. You wait until them financial restraints are lifted off of them. They're one to watch. Red cards put new manager bounce will help Spurs, though I wish Frank would stay. Yeah, I do, mate. I really do. We'll get Alf on for that preview, guys, as well. Alfie's a Tottenham supporter. That'd be an interesting preview. Get his thoughts on how he's feeling. Charles, it's a delicate moment, really. An FA Cup exit versus Wigan, and then Wolves draw might just derail all that hard work. I will field strong minus Declan too, but they have worked their arse off of late. Yeah, no, they have. I think Rice and Zub, Rice especially, his fitness levels are through the roof. But yeah, he's only human as well. So I think if Rice got injured, I think we would struggle massively. That I think Mourinho would do a job in there, but he's out for the season. You know, I think our biggest loss right now is Havertz, and I hate saying that because I'm not Havertz's biggest fan, but he's actually He's come in. I think he's found his role in our team now. That number 10 position. Him and Gyökeres have just clicked straight away, and it's more direct. Like, look at the example versus Brentford. Odegaard's running forward. I think every Arsenal supporter around the country screaming at their TV or if in the ground going, pass, carries on going, pass, and the moment's gone. That's been the problem this season, right? And Saka's guilty of doing that as well. Gyökeres will make a run, and they won't give it to him. They'll dawdle, and it's gone. You've given the opposition a chance to go back 2 banks of 4. Then we're going around the whole shoe horse that we always do, round the box, and then nothing's happening. But yeah, Chris has put Brentford had only dropped 7 points at home all season. Was not going to be easy. Yeah, I said before the game, they're 7th in the league. They're 4 points away from Champions League football. They're having an unreal season. They're doing really well. We was never going to go there, and they weren't going to roll over for us. No team in this league is going to roll over for us. And I was speaking to a Forest fan earlier, and he literally said that any team that plays Arsenal are going to be up for it. You're top of the league. Everyone's going to want to dampen your hopes of plan for the title. If you're top of the league, everyone's after you. You've got a target on your back. And this is why I think the North London derby is a massive, massive game, because Tottenham are going to be up for that. not the fact that it's a North London derby, they can derail our season. If we lose at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, they need to pick up a fucking name for their stadium. It's fucking ridiculous. They've got a nice stadium. Like you got that like Bayern Munich, Allianz Arena. I've got the Emirates Stadium, you've got Etihad Stadium, you got Anfield. Fucking put a name on your stadium. Anyway, yeah, we go there. They're going to be up for that. Massive odds for that now because they've got a new manager in. They've got new tactics, fresh ideas. They're going to have that fresh bounce of energy, and the crowd are going to be up for it. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, but it is what it is. But yeah, we need to be 7 points going into that weekend. Yeah, red cards put Kepa White, Mosquera, and Capier, Calafiori, Norgard. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing MLS in midfield. I ain't seen it yet, and I'm interested in seeing it because he has, although he's not been great this season at left back, right? He's trade is a centre midfielder. He does, and then powerful runs that he gives you would be good to see. I want to see him in that role because when he gets going, he either draws a free kick, which isn't a bad thing, or he's unstoppable. He goes on these little bursting runs, and I think in the midfield, I think he'd do that for us. I think Arteta doesn't have these trust in these players, and I don't think he can do any worse than Odegaard right now. Would you guys agree with that? Charles, scared of Jules, Odegaard, or Invincible Eze, even if they do something versus Wigan. Arteta task cut out to get chances created in a better way. Yeah, no, I think that I think Arteta is very much defend first than attack after. He's too safe sometimes, and I think in certain games he's going to have to just loosen our play. He's going to have to let the handcuffs off a little bit if we're going to get anywhere. Red cards, but we need to create chances from open play. Though Brentford took our set piece aura and used it against us. They did, mate. They did, and there's a stat before the game. They've actually got a really good defensive record against Brentford on set pieces. Oh, you couldn't find the email. Okay. What I'll do after this podcast, buddy, I will update our channel description maybe, and just check it by the end of tonight. It'll be in there. There should be something in there. I'm a little bit. Let me actually bear with me, mate. I'll put it in the chat. Just. Two seconds, guys. 2 seconds. Ooh. There you go, mate. Put in the screen for a little while so you can grab that there. Yeah, so look. For tomorrow's game, what I think Wigan are in trouble at the moment. So I no disrespect to them. This should be quite an easy day out. Really, should be quite a comfortable home game. A couple of goals. I mean, would you guys start York? Get a few goals. I know he's got some good numbers. Do we get him on the score sheet? Get a few goals under him? Is it something that we should look at? Maybe get the confidence going. I think Charles made a very good point. Do we play a semi-strong team just to get the confidence levels up? Yeah, Wigan will not be beat though, but no harm seeing in the young ones. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I think it'd probably go over a mixture. I think Norgard, York should play so he can score. Yeah, I think York hat-trick going into the Wolves game can't do him any harm. And I think Wigan will probably shut the doors as soon as that first whistle goes, just because we're top of the league. They're not idiots. They're fighting a relegation battle. The last thing they need is an absolute pasting in the FA Cup before they got battered by Peterborough last week 6-1. Right, so they're shipping goals left, right, and centre. So I think if you're an interim coming into Wigan, right, there might be a new manager bounce there. Do you know? Spurs have 10. Chris put Spurs have 10 injuries. Should win that. We should, mate. But they're going to be up for that. I think that no matter what team you put out that Tottenham side, they're going to be rolled up for that game. Your Van der Ven, Ramiro, is he out for that game? He's got a 3-match suspension, so he won't be in. Okay, so yeah, that we'll do the preview on Saturday, next Saturday with Alf, or Friday even, just to get a feeler for what he's thinking. But yeah, I think if we're going to win the title, we've got to win every game, right? Until City, we need to win every game until City start dropping off, right? Because I don't think they're going to go on this run that we're that we're worried about. And I think we are. I think we're worried about City right now because they're known for going on big runs, aren't they? They're known for what's happened here. They're known for going on runs. So I think that yeah. All right, buddy. You know, ways I'll respond to that. Me and Wayne talk something carrier. Yeah, we do, mate. Game by game. We need to look at who. We've got some tough fixtures coming up. We've got to navigate. But you got to win. No, Forest Sport today, I had a really, really good chat with him about, it was interesting to get, when you speak to our supporters, you get a really good insight to, because you're in your own little Arsenal bubble, right? I've always been in my own little Arsenal bubble, couldn't care less about any other team. And I do a podcast, and sometimes we'll bring Alf on, who's a Tottenham supporter, and, I do speak to other supporters. But I couldn't give a shit, I mean, about them. He's telling me about Forest, and it was actually an insight to how they think. And he was like, he goes to some of the games and he said, "Look, we actually play really good football." And he goes, "I know the owner's a dick, but he got us to where we are." It just made me think that there isn't an easy game in the Premier League, because every team have got their own ambition. Brentford, they want to get into Europe. So Arsenal's coming. One thing we're going to get in the next 12 games, maybe even Wigan, right? Because they're coming to the Emirates, a day out for them. They've got freedom. There's nothing more dangerous than a team playing you that have got freedom. There's more pressure on us to get through the FA Cup and beat Wigan, right? Where Premier League, they're fighting relegation. There's no pressure on Wigan tomorrow. Basically a free hit. I know I hate saying that word. It's basically a free hit for them. Red cards put, we have Wolves, Spurs, City, Chelsea. We cannot risk losing focus. Yeah, that's not an easy one. That really isn't an easy one. And I think City have got a little bit. They've still got some tough games just to play still. But it's not easy. But we've got. No worries, mate. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining. I think that there's a lot of fixtures coming up. There's a lot of games to be played as well. No one's going to hand us the title. No one is going to hand us the title. I think we need to remember that. And I think we need to get behind the team, stay positive. Tomorrow, join me tomorrow, by the way, guys. The watch long tomorrow at 4:30. I'm probably going to be on my own. I don't think Wayne's available. Look, let's relax. Let's watch Arsenal. Look, no disrespect to Wigan, we should be winning this, and it's an opportunity to see Norgard hopefully get 90 minutes. MLS, I don't think he's going to play him in midfield. I really don't. I'd like to see it, but I don't think he would do it. I think just tweak the team a little bit. Maybe change around a few players, move some players out of position, see how that works. Arteta's too safe sometimes. And I think we're becoming very predictable as a team. There's no shock value anymore. There's no even shock with supporters. Like what? Why are we not? Why is he not changing things around? If you like Havertz is now injured, right? That right, number 10 position, Eza or Odegaard, not quite working. Let's be honest, it's not quite working. We're not creating the chances that we normally would. Why not take out number 10? Why don't you just put 2 up front and have your 2 wingers? Why don't you go old school? Have the fullbacks overlapping, different style of play. You're then still get your defensive stability as well as your attacking stability, right? Arteta is doing like for like every time, and I think that's what's going against him. And if I'm being really honest, I think this is why we're getting nervous, because it cost us the title last time. I genuinely think that he needs to switch it up a little bit. You've got players there that can do it. You've got players that, Ezra can play on the left. Play him on the left. Maybe on the left of a 4-4-2 type formation might be a different story. Might give him that freedom on the left, because you've got two wingers, you've got two fullbacks, you've got people moving around you. So look, Supermax back. Yeah, look, I hope he's in the squad tomorrow. I'd start him. I really would start him. Because I think he'd give, at the moment, Madueke a run for his money. The guy, he's got no fear. I get he's got to be protected as well. Just that's one thing. I wouldn't throw him in a North London derby, because he has to have some form of protection. So it's difficult. It's difficult for him, but he's such a good player. He's going to be if we manage him properly and let him play with freedom. I think Arteta coaches the freedom out of players sometimes. Like Martinelli, when we first signed him, look how robust he was, how quick he was, how skillful he was. He had that no fear element where he would just run with the ball. Don't get me wrong, he's not been consistent, and that's not on Arteta or not any manager that's had Martinelli. But I do think Arteta sometimes should just let the handcuffs off of our attacking players and allow them to do their thing. I think Odegaard sometimes. Joe, I don't know what's going on with Odegaard. I really don't. He frustrated the life out of me against Brentford, because come on, he was really, he done okay in parts, and then he's gone back to being the dilly dally, frustrating player that we've seen for the last 18 months. So, look, I'm very, very hopeful still. I'm not fully worried. If I'm being honest. When the final whistle went at Brentford, I was like, it's 4 points. It wasn't a great performance. The performance worried me more than anything, right? So I think Wigan's it's a good little gap stop for the Wolves game. And the fact that no one's playing before or after us, or obviously the weekend, it gives Man City a couple of days to think about it. If we beat Wolves, which isn't an easy game, by the way, because they're still fighting relegation, they're going to be hungry. Look what they've done at the Emirates. They defended really well. We got a little bit of luck out of that game. We was lucky to escape that game, with a win. We should have been a draw, really. That would have been a fair result on Wolves. Wolves are at home, but we can't. If we play like we did against Brentford, then we can kiss the title goodbye. That's one thing that I will say with confidence. So, Chris has put, Dalman loves to run at players. Might he be coached out of him? Yeah, I think it will, mate. I think Arteta's. He's too safe. He's so safe. When he's the complete opposite to Wenger, because Wenger was a player that go and express yourself, but then obviously would ship goals under Wenger. Defensive side wasn't great, but attacking side was just unreal, And I think Arteta's has got to find that balance now. He's got to swing the balance the other way. I think when we got a goal against Brentford, there was an emphasis just to try and drop in. And look, don't get me wrong, the guys' throw-ins were undefendable at times. The one thing that I will say, and this is one thing that needs to be looked into. I don't know if you guys remember it when we played Newcastle. Calafiori had the towel taken off of him when he was drying the ball. Do you remember that? Apparently, it took. I can't remember the guy's name. It took their throw-ins. Absolute beast of a player, by the way, and what an arm on him. It was like corners. But it took him 45 seconds to dry the ball. How is that not? Why is that not? Stopped in the game? And it wasn't. I wouldn't say that was. We can't blame them situations, but it was an interesting point that someone wrote online that he took 45 seconds to dry a football before throwing it in. So, but look, we can't look at that. We've got to do our job. We can't rely on refereeing poor decisions. We've got to be on the pitch. If we play our football, we win this league. It's as simple as that. But tomorrow's a good stopgap. It's a good stopgap. No disrespect to Wigan. We should be beating them. I'm going to go with a 4-0, 3 or 4-0. Depending on who starts. Look, join me tomorrow, guys. I'll jump on about 4:10 after starting 11 ready to go. It's on TNT Sport 1 if anyone wants to know what channel it's on, done a bit check before I started the pod. But yeah, join me tomorrow. That's going to be it from me, guys. Thank you for joining. A little bit of therapy, other than a preview. There's not really much to preview. I think Wigan are on their last legs in their own league. Yeah, they're fighting their own relegation. I think the FA Cup, in these situations, you do find that managers in them sort of leagues go, "Do you know what? We'll just have a day out. Is what it is," which could be dangerous as well, by the way. But there's no, still got to go and do our job, be professional. But I do see an Arsenal win. Hopefully a comfortable one, a clean sheet, take it into Wolves. Yeah, so I'm going to go 3-4-0, guys. But look, if please hit that like button before you jump out. Please subscribe and join me tomorrow. Thank you for all your comments, and I will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.